So for our first video, I'd like to get started with a little backstory. I grew up in New York as a Yankee fan. My dad grew up right across the street from Yankee Stadium, so this was my team from the time I was a little kid. The very first baseball cards I can remember collecting was the 1986 Top Set, but really my heyday was the 87, 88, and 89s. So these were all some of my original baseball cards from when I was a kid. Eventually, 98, Yankees win the World Series. And I was a senior in high school that year. I was a little bit jaded by the players' strike that happened a few years earlier and the constant talks of maybe moving the team out of the city. So it seemed like a good time to sort of stop following baseball. Went to Colgate University, upstate New York. Was a big sports fan while I was up there. Got into wrestling quite a bit. And then eventually moved to upstate New York. Upstate New York, I'm still not really a baseball fan, but I'm following the local sports teams from Glens Falls, which included the Ice Hawks, Frostbite, then eventually turning into the Phantoms, the Flames, and then finally the Thunder, and occasionally the Rats. But I really didn't follow too much professional sports during that time. A couple years, well, down the road, many years down the road, 2018, my wife's work brings us down here to Maryland. And in Maryland, the pandemic hits pretty quickly. So not a whole lot of sports going on in general. Things changed in it's the year before they got good, but we went to our first Baltimore Orioles game. And it was a year they weren't all that good. Playing the Yankees won that game. But what I remember is, well, the crowd wasn't huge. The ballpark is just amazing. And everybody was wearing orange. And everybody was super positive. So that really left an impression on me. Pandemic, no sports for a while. But eventually, back into the Orioles. That really dragged me back into all things local sports. We got the Keys. We got, let's see. Nope. For 1 year only, we've got the Ghost Hounds and Bowie Bay Sox. Was a big hockey fan in college. And more recently, Maryland Black Bears in the playoffs right now. Do like college hockey, UMBC, University of Maryland. University of Maryland hockey team is a gateway drug into University of Maryland, where I eventually really got into baseball, but also some of the other sports as well. So that's sort of where we are right now. Let me see if I have any other props that I forgot. I do have one more. Crop dusters, local sports. So that's sort of my sports journey, and we'll continue more next time.